Hello, everybody. This is Tahiera Monique Brown with another Tahieraisms, and this is March the 14th on a Friday. And although I did do Tahieraisms that was supposed to come out on my Thursday, nothing seemed to go right. The Wi-Fi was too slow. My system was acting up. But you know what? I just took it to mean this. God says no. No can do. So I just relaxed. I wanted to panic, but I just relaxed. I did try it several times, but I did figure out how to get that awful echo out of my system. Oh, I hope it doesn't echo today. But it's a gorgeous day today. The name of my speech is The Power of Faith. I remember one day coming home from work. My boss had fired me because I had gotten a call that my baby sister Gussie was ill at school and she had blisters under her feet. She was running a high fever and she was in special needs care. And not only that, I did not have a car to be able to go and get her. And then it began to storm. And I just began to pray. I didn't know what to do. So I started walking in the rain, praying. I just had enough money to get on one bus. So I took the bus to downtown Atlanta, Georgia. Tears just rolling. Didn't know what I was going to do. And I got off of the bus, and a friend of mine drove up. And on the bus system, it really took me a long ways away from the school system. So he took me to the school to pick up Gussie, and sure enough, when I got there, Gussie was in terrible shape. I gave her some medication for her allergies and some medication for pain. We got her home. I got her cleaned up. And she went straight to bed. I gave her some medication to break her fever. And my friend didn't stay. He said, "I'm happy that I was able to do this for you." And he left. And there was another time I was in dire poverty. I was not depressed in the sense of mentally depressed. I was living in a depressed situation, a depressed state where there was no money. The bills needed to be paid. The lights had gotten cut off. The gas was off. And I just happened to walk around the corner and my stuff was getting sat on the side of the road. And I just didn't fret about it. I just stood there in utter amazement. But in my mind, I saw myself living somewhere better. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I used my absolute faith in God. And when my children came and saw their things getting set out, neighbors were nice enough to ask me, could they have certain things? And of course, what could I do? And once again, I called this friend and we got my things off the side of the road, what I could have, and we put it in storage. And I went to wondering what I was going to do, and I went and stayed at my brother's house. He was nice enough to give me a place to stay for a little while. And I just began to pray about what should I do. Here I am now, once again, I'm homeless. My things sitting on the side of the road. Neighbors were compassionate and caring, but you know, they have enough to deal with than to take in a whole family. Oh boy. But our God is an awesome God. I got a job. I was able to earn enough money to get myself on my feet again. And I moved into a much better place than I was in that I got put out of. It wasn't easy because people have a tendency to think that if you come from poverty, or if you're trying to move up the ladder, that what you did back then or what it was that got you there is going to come into their neighborhoods and affect their neighborhoods. The lady that the resident manager at that new apartment complex did everything in her power to destroy me that year that I stayed there. I came home one day and there was tags all over my car. I came out one day, the car was gone. It was just a lot of little things that she was doing to me, but I had faith that God was going to work it all out. And I managed to stay in that apartment for a year with all of that antagonism. And then God blessed me and moved me ahead into another complex that was much nicer. And I stayed there for a while. But God kept moving me up the ladder in spite of my circumstances. My finances didn't increase that much, but my livelihood increased substantially because of the heart of man, because God placed in the heart of man compassion. And with that compassion, they gave me an opportunity. And let me tell you this. Every time I left a place, even when I got put out, I never left a place in a bad shape. I always left it better than it was given to me. You always have to think about that. If you're renting a place, if you're staying in somebody's place, always take care of it better than if it was your own. Take care of it, and God will take care of you. When I got into the house that I live in now, it was all about God. My husband and I had been struggling. It's just been a tough time, and we didn't have any real money per se, but we had faith. And just when we was trying to get this home, my husband's salary increased, and we started having a little bit more faith. But we had to care for Gussie, and her home care was very expensive every month, and taking care of her medical needs was expensive every month. And so finally, God worked it out, and He blessed us with our home, and He blessed me with a wonderful home for Gussie to live in. And it gave me an opportunity to travel around the country as a speaker to share my story. Why am I talking about the power of faith? I've been getting emails and messages where people have been asking me to pray for them. I have to look back at the times that I've had to ask other people to pray for me. I'm very emotional right now, but you have to know the power of prayer and the power of faith, and knowing that God will pull you through everything if you just ask Him. I know I serve a true and living God. God has been good to me. He's blessed me in so many ways. I can't put it into words. And I know that some people out there that are listening to my voice are saying, I can tell you some stories about how God blessed me too. And I would love to hear those stories. And I'm pretty sure other people would love to hear those stories. But it's important to me that someone out there know the power of faith, the power of prayer. And if you can't pray for yourself, get on the phone with someone that you know is a prayer warrior and ask them to pray for you. I've had to do that. And those prayers have always did the job. They've always made me be able to endure and to come out on the other side whole and have a testimony to give. It's been a tough last few months with my health. It reminded me that I wasn't young anymore. But I have overcome. I'm doing well. I feel great. People are telling me, girl, you look so good. And I'm looking in the mirror trying to see what they see different. But I guess it's just that joy, that glorious joy, that thankfulness, that faithfulness, that hopefulness, that no doubting thing that I'm going through now. That I know that God is walking with me, that He's been with me through the journey, and He's there with you right now. You have to understand that it's a mighty God we serve. I am Tahiera Monique Brown, and y'all know that I believe in miracles. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye.